Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Friday. Happy Black Friday. We have 13 NBA games today, after having none yesterday, with them obviously being Thanksgiving. So, lots of teams in action. We'll probably get a lot of news throughout the day. Hopefully, we don't get hit with a ton. We already have some guys that are out we know of, and some guys that are probable and questionable. So, let's get started. As always, if you enjoy the videos, appreciate the like button, subscribe if you have not already. You can check out the links down below in the description if you want to check out the Twitter for updates or the website. So starting off with the point guard picks, you have Ja Morant. He's at 10-7. After saying that he was going to be a week-to-week injury with his ankle, he only missed, I don't think he missed any games. Or he missed one game, I believe, and then he came right back and went right back to himself with 54 fantasy points, 34 real-life points. He's just been putting up a ton of scoring numbers in bunches this year. You have Steph Curry right behind him at 10-6. He's going up against the Jazz. He's been really good at times. I mean, he's been shooting really well all season. And like last game, it was Andrew Wiggins had his first big game in a while. He put up over 50 fantasy points against the Rockets. Klay Thompson couldn't miss. So they're starting to get contributions from other guys early in the season. Pretty much the first month, it's just been Steph Curry carrying them. I don't mind him, but I probably like Morant more or go down to SGA against Chicago. There are some other picks in the 9 and 8K range that look decent. I like Halliburton continues to be pretty steady and consistent. The assists are going nowhere. 3 straight games with 14 assists. He shot pretty poorly last game, but typically he's not dropping under 40 fantasy points very often. He's been in the 40s and 50s for 80+%, 90+% of the games that he's played this year. So he's always a pretty safe play, but I think we can do better point per dollar wise. Kevin Porter Jr., he's been playing really well recently. He's a streaky player, but he gives you a ton of upside, so that makes him pretty fun to roster for tournaments. Holidays probables, I'm not going to have too much interest in him at that price tag. Paul is out once again. Payne is okay at 73. You'll probably find some better options. 6K range, I like Shake Milton. Sixers going to be missing the usual suspects once again. Embiid is out. Harden is still out, and no Maxey. So we've seen Milton really take on a great shooting role. He's been really consistent with his shooting, 50+% in his last 4 games, and all of them he's played over 30 minutes and taken double-digit shots. He gives you rebounds and some assist opportunities. So it's a good matchup against Orlando. Good price tag. Guy that can give you over 40 fantasy points. Values, you have a bunch here. Colin Sexton, he started last game in place of Conley, who's out once again today, and had his first double-double of the season. He's averaging 2.4 assists per game and got 12 last game. So a little bit of an anomaly, but not having Conley there, they're going to need somebody else to handle the ball a bit. To split some time with Clarkson handling the ball. Don't expect 12 assists again today, but it's a good matchup against the Warriors. They've been giving up points, and he maybe finally starts to build off of last game's performance and starts to play better because he's been a bit poor this year, just in terms of the fantasy games that he's played. He's not been terrible with the shooting. It's just that he's not playing as many minutes, but he's averaging 22. You'll probably see a jump into the mid-30s again today. So at $4,600, he looks like a great value. But another great value is going to be Jose Alvarado, because CJ McCollum is ruled out for this one, and McCollum missed last game as well against the Spurs in that one. Alvarado started at point guard. He played 30 minutes, which is great for a guy below 4K and a guy that will get some usage just because he will handle the ball a bit, dish out some assists. He's not going to shoot a ton, but he's also good with the fantasy or with the defensive stats. 3 steals, back-to-back games. It's a good matchup against the Grizzlies as well. So can't go wrong with him at that price tag. Shooting guard, not going to pay 10K for Booker today. Bradley Beal missed last game. We'll see. It's not the best matchup, even if he is in or out going up against Miami, but a little bit better with Miami missing Butler recently and again today. Probably another position where you can spend down a little bit here. You want it's not going to pay 8K for Hero, even if he's in. 7K range isn't that exciting to me. 6K range, you have Clarkson and Buddy Hield, but Hield's been cold recently. Maybe the day off helps him. I like Milton a lot at 6,000. But another good value piece going back to is Colin Sexton, who I just mentioned at the point guard position. Just good price tag. If he gets me over 30 fantasy points at this price tag, I'll be really happy. And definitely a good chance just with the minutes that he'll play to at least have a decent fantasy line. Over at small forward, you're not going to look to Kevin Durant, even though it's a good matchup, but with Irving there and Simmons starting to do a little bit more shooting, mostly it's just at the basket. Durant's been kind of having his worst fantasy games recently just because he's not taking as many shots, with Irving chucking, and maybe he's just content with that. So not going to pay $11,000 for him today. Then Carroll's back, so it's a good sign. It's a better matchup than usual without Embiid in the middle there, so he looks fine against the Sixers if you wanted to run him, but price tag is expensive in his first game back for missing a good amount of games. For myself, another value piece that I'm looking at small forward is going to the Clippers side and going to Norman Powell. Not sure why his price tag is back to $4,700. It went down by $600 after all he did was put up 31 fantasy points and play almost 30 minutes against the Warriors. Paul George without a timetable to return. Same deal for Kawhi Leonard, so Powell's going to be seeing good minutes every single game, 30 at least you'd expect in any sort of competitive game, if not more like 33, 34. He's playing really well, and he's actually shot really good the last 4 games, so he's starting to find some confidence, and they're going to need him to step up and put the ball in the basket, just missing Paul George especially. Kawhi's kind of been out for most of the year anyways. Over at power forward, Giannis is 12-4. I don't want to pay that much for him against the Cavs. I like Jokic probably better for cheaper. A guy that I'm looking at to pay up a little bit today is Zion. He'll get a little bit more usage today just without CJ McCollum there. It's a good matchup going up against the Grizzlies and going up against like John Moran. Those two will go back and forth. It'll be fun to watch them. All Williamson, last game looked really, really good. Only had to play 27 minutes with the blowout, but he was on pace for well over 60 if he got his usual 33, 34, 35 minutes. Playing better recently. Just more consistent. He still can give you those bad games, but without McCollum, with some extra usage, with being a good matchup, not really worried of that happening, and the price tag is pretty reasonable. Other options, you could look to Tobias if you wanted to at 8K, going up against one of his many former teams. 6K range, you have Jaren Jackson at 68. He looks decent. You can look to Wiggins if you wanted to. More a senior, just pair him with Powell if you wanted to. Those two are going to have to do a good amount of the scoring. That's the main guys I'm looking at. Value at the position, we'll see once we get some news. Not a ton I'm looking at this position. Really like the values at point guard and shooting guard and small forward. And then at center, and we got a lot of cheap guys here at these 3 positions. We can pay up for a Jokic if you wanted to. I like to pay up for him. It's he came back from missing a few, back-to-back games that he's played. Came back on the 22nd from missing a few games with being on the protocol list, and all he did was shoot 70+% the last 2 games, and he played a ton of minutes. So it doesn't look to be, and almost had triple doubles in both. Fell 1 rebound shy and then 1 assist shy. Put up over 30 points in each. So after having some quiet games before that, maybe having just some games off helped him rest and recover his body a little bit better. Matchup is good against Zubats in that front court. He should be able to get some rebounds there. Clippers are good defensively, but missing Paul George is definitely going to hurt them. So not really worried about that. And I think Jokic at that price tag hopefully can drop another 66 bomb or get close to 70. If maybe he actually gets a triple-double and get those extra points that way. But I like these 5 a lot so far today. So that's it for DK. Let's jump to FanDuel. So on FanDuel, pretty much similar idea of the guys I'm targeting. The point guard position, I like getting to Shake Milton. Your pay-ups, John Morant looks good at 10-1. 9K range, you have maybe Halliburton, or 83 for like Simons looks good. I like him a good amount. You have 79 for Melton. He looks fine, but you can also go down to Shake Milton for some more savings and a guy that can get you similar, if not more, fantasy points if Melton has a bad shooting game. 67 for Payne or Murray looks good as well. And if you needed to go in the 5K range for anybody, could take stabs at like Alec Burks if you wanted to, depending on the Killian Hayes news. And Alvarado looks a little bit better on DraftKings. You can still play him at 47, but I don't mind getting up to Shake instead. Shooting guard, still like the price tag on Sexton. He's pretty similar on both sites, 46 and 47. Good value. Pay up would be maybe SGA. I love paying up for him. He's typically all he's done is put up over 60s in the games that I've played him. Ingram at 81 without McCollum looks solid. Values and mid-range picks. Clarkson at 7K. Okay, I guess. Murray and Payne would be my favorites in the high 6K range. And also, you could look to like Terrence Mann, who's somewhat cheap on FanDuel. He's like 46, I think. 47. A little bit better on DraftKings if you want to take a shot on him. And then if there is no Beal, you could look to Will Barton. Small forward, Powell still looks solid to me just because we need to get multiple small forwards. You have a lot of good pay-ups. Well, a lot of expensive pay-ups. Tatum and Durant look decent. Don't think I'll get to 12K for Giannis. Just not in love with the matchup against Cleveland. And then you have a lot of guys that are in the 8K range. So in that range, myself looking at like Ingram, Jaylen Brown, and wanted to go with some guys in the 6K range or some values like Wiggins, Bogdanovich. Gonna have to do a lot of the shooting and scoring for the Pistons. Just down a few bodies right now. But I also like Powell just with the price tag and the minutes that he'll play in a close game, hopefully. And he has been playing and shooting better, so expecting at least 30 fantasy points. Wouldn't be shocked if he puts up over 40 or 44, 45. Power forward, you get a good price tag on Zion on both sites. I mean, 8K is cheaper than guys like, same price, I guess, Tobias Simmons. Only a few more $100 expensive than like Randall. I love Zion going up against the Memphis Grizzlies, going up against Ja Morant. It'll just be a fun game to watch, and like I mentioned on DraftKings, you'll just get some more usage without McCollum there, more shots. 62 for Gordon looks decent if there is no Porter. He had a good game last time out when they were down some bodies. Morris, 57 looks solid. And some main guys, values pop up throughout the day once we get some more injury news. And then last but not least, at center, great price tag on Jokic. He's only 11K, so I like him a lot. The only guy that you have to pay up for him more expensive is Davis going up against the Spurs, but I still like Jokic more. And then guys in the 7K range would be like Randall, who looks okay. He's definitely hit or miss. Miles Turner's also great for tournaments with the blocks that he can give you and just rack up a huge fantasy game that way. So look at Miles Turner if you wanted to go with a more GPP sort of play or like a lower owned sort of play. And we'll see on the Wendell Carter news. That'll impact Bol and it'll impact Bamba here at 56. So keep an eye on some news, but for right now, pretty similar type of core I'm building on both sides. So thanks for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I will catch you all next time.